In this video, we're going to take a look and see how to use the TI to find the intersection of or solution of a system of equations. So I have the two equations, y equals 35 and y equals 0.03x plus 15. So I'm just going to enter those two equations into my y equals screen. Okay, from there, I'm going to zoom, and I'm going to try to zoom fit on my calculator to see what those two lines look like. So I can see on the top of my screen, I can see the horizontal line y equals 35 and the diagonal line y equals 0.03x plus 15, but I can't see where they intersect. If I hit second and then graph, I get into my table menu. And on my table menu, conveniently, I've got some values of x over 600. I've got some y1 values, y2 values. So I can see as I keep going up, those values are getting closer and closer to each other. So if I keep going up on this table, oh, there I can see it happened. Right there at 666, y2 is less than y1, but at 667, y2 now becomes greater than y1. So it's somewhere between 666 and 667 that the two lines intersect each other. Okay, if I want to find an exact value, I can change the window on my calculator. Let's go from 660 to 670. Okay, and I'll go from 35 or 34 to 36. So all I'm doing is I'm changing my x-min and x-max, y-min and y-max to be around where I think that intersection point is. When I hit graph, now I really centered in on that intersection point. Now that I can see the point, if I hit second trace, I can go to intersect. Okay, first curve, my calculator is asking me, is that the equation of my first curve? And at the top of the screen, I see y1 equals 35. So that is my first curve. I'll hit enter. Second curve, y2 equals 0.05 or 0.03x plus 15. I'll hit enter. Guess. I always want my calculator to guess. There's the exact solution point for that system. So by using my table, I came up with an approximate area, and by using the trace option on my calculator, I came up with a more exact solution. So let's try another example. Okay, y equals, I'm going to type in 40x minus 120 and negative 3x plus 1500. Okay, zoom fit, and there's my line 1, there's line 2. They're nowhere near each other right now. Okay, so I'm going to go into my table and I'm going to look at these values and I see, oh man, those values are nowhere near each other. And I can see what's happening is as I move up on the x-axis, I see my y's are getting lower, I see y2 are getting higher, so I know that I need to be at a much smaller x value in order to find where they approach each other. They're getting closer to each other, but not fast enough for me. If I go second window, okay, let me change where I start my table. Let's start it at 0. And now look at my table. Those are closer to each other. Those are closer. But actually, I can see I've kind of missed it. Okay, so now I'm getting closer, closer, closer. Okay, so I'm going to keep going up, keep going up. Oh, there we go. Okay, so looking here, all right, y2 is bigger, now it's smaller. So somewhere between 37 and 38, somewhere between 37 and 38, y1 has overtaken y2. I'm going to change my window. So somewhere between 37 and 38. And let's go back and check that table again to see my y values. Okay, so it's somewhere in the 1300s it looks like. So I'll go back to my window from 1300 to 1400. I'm going to change my y scale to 10. I'll hit graph. And because I messed around with my window, now I can see the intersection point. Second calc, intersect, okay, first curve, yes, second curve, looking at that equation, yes, guess, there's my exact intersection point. Okay, so one more time. This time, y equals 0.25x plus 75, negative 0.15x plus 10. Okay, zoom, fit, zoom 0. Alright, so there are my two equations of lines. Nowhere near each other, unfortunately. Let's look at my table values. Okay, I see y1 is getting smaller, y2 is getting bigger. I'm just going to go along with this. It's not moving fast enough for me. It looks like I need some big negative number. Let's try setting my table to start at 50, negative 50. Not quite close enough. Let's try that again. Negative 200. Okay, negative 200. Now I'm starting to get somewhere. Okay, I see negative 200. So I see my y1s are getting bigger, my y2s are getting smaller. I'm going to stick with this for a little bit. Okay, let's see. y1 is smaller here. Now all of a sudden it's bigger. So it's somewhere between negative 163 and negative 162. So let's change my window. Let's go check my table again. So somewhere in the 34s. Okay, ones. I'll hit graph. So negative 170 is my min, negative 160 is my max. Now I'll hit graph. So there's my first equation. There's my second equation. I can see the intersection point. First curve, second curve. There's my intersection. Okay, so it really takes a little bit of manipulation on the calculator, but you could use the second calc intersect option. You could also use your table to compare the y values for the same x. And if you go to table set, you can certainly change the starting value of your table.